My name is Tiffany. I am a survivor of domestic violence. The abuse I endured by the man I once loved and trusted was not only physical, but also emotional, psychological, financial, and sexual. In the beginning, it was almost unnoticeable. He manipulated me in small ways so that I would question myself and feel overly emotional. Over time, I felt like I was going crazy. One day, I spoke with my mom and asked her if what I was experiencing was normal behavior in a relationship. Of course, it wasn't. In our conversation, she mentioned the word narcissist. I started reading about narcissism, and the word abuse jumped out at me. At that moment, I realized I needed to leave, but I was scared. I had small children and did not have a job. As I researched more, I found the number for the Domestic Violence Resource Center. I waited until I was safe, and I made that fateful phone call. Talking with an advocate, for the first time in a long time, everything made sense. I learned that leaving an abusive situation can be extremely dangerous, so I needed to put a safety plan together. I worked with the Domestic Violence Resource Center for the next several weeks to find a job, daycare, and a safe place to live. My abuser was out of town for a work trip, and before I knew it, I was out of my prison with what clothes and toys I could grab. Because of the Domestic Violence Resource Center, my children and I now live in a safe and secure home. With their help, I stood up for myself and I broke the cycle of abuse. I am no longer afraid of who he is because I know who I am, and I know what I stand for. I am strong, I am brave, I am a fighter, I am a survivor.
The Domestic Violence Resource Center has a lot of resources at their fingertips so that when we make contact, or if they're not ready to make contact with law enforcement, they can reach out to the Domestic Violence Resource Center for legal help, for housing, for counseling.
We know that leaving an abusive relationship isn't as simple as walking out the door. When someone calls the 24-hour hotline or comes to the office, they're able to find immediate refuge and compassionate support. Our trained advocates assess the survivor's risk and help them devise a safety plan that includes their children and oftentimes their pets.
Up to 40% of victims are unable to flee from their abusers because they are concerned about what will happen to their pets when they leave. Noah's Animal House eliminates this barrier by providing no-cost pet boarding so that families with pets can safely escape domestic violence together.
We're able to provide them with resources such as clothing, food, transportation, and other basic necessities that might have been left behind when they fled.
As survivors begin to build their resilience, we empower them to achieve longer-term sustainability through our transitional housing and financial literacy programs. This is what sets the Domestic Violence Resource Center apart. Not only do we provide intervention, but we are with survivors as they grow, giving them the tools to live independent, successful lives.
Hola, mi nombre es Juana.
Hello, my name is Juana. It's been 2 years since I reached out to the Domestic Violence Resource Center for help. My ex-husband drank a lot and would verbally abuse me. One night, he also abused me physically. He hit me so much I couldn't take it. I had to call my son to rescue me. The next day, I went to Human Resources at work to ask if they knew of any program that could help me. She told me about the Domestic Violence Resource Center. I contacted them immediately, and they welcomed me into the shelter. By participating in the various elements of the shelter program, I qualified for transitional housing, and along with that, the help and support of the Domestic Violence Resource Center's financial coach. I have virtual meetings with her every 2 weeks. She helps me stay focused and motivated. With her support, I was able to pass my driving test, fix my credit score, and pay my debts. Just recently, I was pre-qualified for a home mortgage.
Last year, we served 3,126 domestic violence victims. That's 778 more individuals than the prior year. It's important we work to eliminate misconceptions that go along with the issue of domestic violence. Victims are not weak or waiting to be rescued, and they cannot just leave. Our clients are very strong people who've ended up in relationships that aren't healthy for them. We see every different income level, profession, and race. This is an issue that families we work with, go to church with, or see at our kids' sports events are dealing with, and they need our support.